Well, welcome back to Blakeney on the North Norfolk Coast. September is an absolutely fantastic time to come. As you can see, absolutely rammed here. This is the high street, just coming up to 9 AM. It is Sunday morning. Weather's been absolutely superb. We've had some absolutely beautiful high tides here as well, which really come over the quay and are spectacular when the marshes beyond, looking out towards the wash, completely fill up with water. So we're walking the dogs this morning. We're going to take them down onto the quay and out through and give them their morning walk. As you come down to the lower section of the high street here at Blakeney, come around this little sort of bend, just walking past the White Horse pub here. You can see the sign hanging from it, an Adnams pub, very good restaurant and hotel. And you come past the anchor and you get your first view of the cut coming down before it curves quite sharply round to the left and runs in front of the quay. We've now made our way down onto the very bottom of the high street where it opens out, and here's what's called the Causeway car park. It's this strip of gravel that runs just to the side of the cut. You can see there's very little water in it at this time of day. Already a lot of people here parking up, walking the dogs. We're going to walk out past the boatyard there and down towards what you can just make out in the far distance, which is the gravel bank, which is where the sea is. So I think these girls are ready for their walk. Yep, shall we go? Yeah, come on. It's always a bit of a risky place to park your car here if you're going away for any length of time. As you can see, quite often the car park completely submerges. They do warn you about it, but it's a little unpredictable. You'd never think it now, looking at that low tide water level. But anything over a 9-metre tide, and we've got the potential for this to completely flood. And we have seen a few cars absolutely under on this car park over the years. Not much risk of that, I don't think, today. It's got to be over 9 metres before it does anything. On a morning like this, I don't think I'd rather be walking my dogs anywhere else other than here in Blakeney. Kate's just taking them on beyond the car park, and we'll let them all off and they can just run and explore the freshers and make our way back along the postal calf and back up back lane to the cottage. Well, we're halfway along the Wallace Causeway that was built out towards the old houseboat that sat at the very end of the dry area you can walk to along the side of the cut. It's been there for 20-30 years, probably the rest. And all along this little cut there are moored boats. This one's actually for sale if you fancy a boat. Telephone number but no price. Very nice all wood boat. Tide just gently meanders backwards, trickles out through this cut that makes its way along in front of the quay at Blakeney, right the way round that headland, almost reaching Morstan, which you can just make out in the far distance. But just a gentle trickle, and on a beautiful sunny September morning like this, absolutely peaceful. Our dogs are enjoying just exploring everything around here. There's been a few really high tides beginning of the month, but by middle of September, nothing too spectacular. 7-8 metre tides coming in and out twice a day. Just make out the gentle, almost hum of the sea on the shingles shore, probably about 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile away from us here. Really warming up already. They're enjoying it though. It's a nice area just to bring them down and what we'll do is make our way. You can see the people on the coastal path that curves round and makes its way over to Clyde next to sea, which is over towards the east of us here. And we'll probably make our way up onto that. She'll get some social with some other dogs if we do so, because there's nobody else down here. Quite extraordinarily busy. Most of the village, and you walk 300 yards out. Alright, it's a little muddy. Need wellies to come out here. It's very nice if you can make your way down onto the sandbanks that just fill this little cut. You can walk your way through the water with the dogs, but none of ours are particularly keen on water. Something I'm quite pleased about most of the time, because they're not rushing into it every 5 minutes. Does keep them a lot cleaner. So let's make our way a little further along. Joggers up on the coastal path, what looks like a greyhound or a whippet. We'll go out and have a look at the very end of this cut. Well, at the end of the Wallace pathway is what most people refer to as the Houseboat, which is an old iron barge. Somebody started doing some restoration work on it. You can see the superstructure, which was going to probably house quite a nice bit of accommodation, but it's rusted through, and I don't think there's any point in doing any further work on this. And it's been here as long as I can remember, and it's probably going to rust away here over the next couple of 100 years. Quite sad in one respect, but it's a bit of a landmark in others. Even the superstructure is starting to fall away. Looks like an old battery pack in there, full of rubbish. Gone beyond restoration. I'm down at the very end of the Wallace Walkway. This is about as far as you can walk out with dry feet. Low tide, it's perfectly possible to walk out into the bay and make your way round. Very little water in there at all at low tide, just the trickling streams discharging themselves from the pooled water on the various cuts. There's another cut that makes its way between the seawall and the raised walkway that you can see the joggers proceeding round towards Clyde, and that makes its way right the way round to the port of Clyde, which is a navigable stretch of water at high tide again. They've dredged that the last couple of years so they can get some small sailing boats around there. Beautiful blue skies, no wind, very few aircraft trail on a Sunday morning, which is exceptionally good to see, and the hazy heat starting to build up over Blakeney. Forecast for 31 degrees later on today, so not a day to be doing too much in the way of gardening or physical activity. We're just going to relax here and enjoy the joys of Blakeney. Thanks for watching.